first meeting. You know, this committee was created to build on the work that's been done over the last couple years that have been come together in House Bill 4001 and Senate Bill 1507 that happened in the session earlier this year. But these are new members who haven't all worked on these topics before. It's a new committee, and our goal here is to dig into these issues. And the expectation from the Senate President and I is that people are going to get up to speed. We've planned informationals to kind of overcome maybe your knowledge gap on some of these issues, so we can all be at least equally positioned to move forward on making some policy recommendations. We are here to develop a program that can help us reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and to work on also growing economic opportunity across the state. And I'm really looking forward to working with each and every one of you to do that. You will notice on the committee agenda in front of you, we have future meeting dates. They are subject to change, but we're trying to get these dates on people's calendars for future meetings. We will have another 6 meetings between now and December, including meetings in the September and December legislative days. And when exactly they happen those days, we'll have to figure out depending on the schedule. Our agenda today, we've tried to build in some room for people to ask questions here on the dais. We will have committee staff tracking your questions. What we'd like to incorporate into our business is making sure people get their questions asked at these committees, not necessarily answered, because what I think we're going to see is you're going to have questions. Staff is going to go back and try to provide answers. They either come back to you via email or come back to you at the next meeting. So this is an iterative process. Get your questions asked. We'll get more information, and we'll keep going as we move along. It's difficult to have too much discussion, and we might not be able to answer your questions here in the actual committee of the day we're having them. But ask your questions, and the staff will get back to you as soon as possible with answers to your questions. We are also in the process of working on some kind of draft work plan. We wanted to get the first meeting out of the way, so we'll get some clarity on what the next 6 meetings will look like, so that will be forthcoming, so watch for that. We, I believe, have posted online an update from the Office of Carbon Policy. So one of the things we did in the session this year is to put resources into an office to do some of the work that, frankly, we don't have the time or expertise to do. And there's a document on OLS outlining their general lay of the land. They will be coming to the next meeting to fill that out, but we wanted to put that out for people to look at. Particularly, I think there's interest in the public in seeing that. The office is going to be convening a variety of work groups and stakeholder conversations and technical conversations with agencies and stakeholders. And then lastly, I think one of the things that I wanted to clarify personally is the work that Senator Denber and Representative Helm did over the last year was, in terms of their work groups, was really fundamental, I think, in bringing people to the table. And we had legislators at a lot of those work groups. The challenge for that is the Carbon Policy Office is going to try to convene a lot of stakeholder groups. Our expectation is legislators aren't going to be hanging out in those meetings necessarily. One, that's because of time. One, that's because of what your knowledge base is. Our goal is to have those working groups bringing their information back to this committee so you can all get up to speed together, and then we continue to have conversations as the meetings go along. So there's not an expectation that we're having legislators in all those work groups. And frankly, I think it's better if stakeholders are telling us what we need to know, and then we are making decisions based on that information. Because honestly, I can tell you probably don't all have time to be in every single one of those work groups. So I'll just put that out there right now. Mr. President, did you have any comments before we start?
No.
All right. So we're going to open